Okay, so we'll continue. So last time we were talking about conditional statements, isn't it? And we discussed about if and else, right? So we said that if is used to check the condition, and if is followed by true, then you perform what is required for it to be true. For example, let's say you have num. Okay, you have num which is equal to 50. Okay, and I want to check if this number is positive or negative. Okay, so I'll say if num, and how do you know if number is positive? For a number to be positive, it has to be greater than 0. So num is greater than 0, right? If you see greater than 0, then you say print number is positive, correct? Now, if number is, this is when you have to check only one condition, right? But now if you have to check two conditions, if number is positive, okay, and else I will say number is not positive. Okay, why I'm saying this is because you can have num equal to 0. Okay, if I say num equal to 0, then what will happen? It will say, because see, is 0 greater than 0? No. Then it will go to else. Okay, if num is not greater than 0, then it's go to else, right? So if I say negative, if it is not positive, yeah. Oh. Correct, should be not positive, right? Now if I make it 0, for example, here, if I had printed number is negative, then this wouldn't have worked. Is it because 0 is neither positive nor negative, right? So I shouldn't use here word like negative. Now, so as I said, so far, we can use either if or else. This is what we are learning, isn't it? Now, so let's look at the previous example. This example, okay, we did something like this. Okay. So now, in this case, if I run this example, okay, it will ask me to enter the bill amount, correct? If I say 2100, for example, it says 504, 101, okay? 504 because 2000, correct? 101, and then we don't have to say 50s, 10s, like all these zeros, right? Now, if it is 0, then I don't want to display anyways. If it is 0, why should I display it? Isn't it? So what I'll do here, okay, I will have a different print statement for all of these. Okay, so I'll have a different print statement for these. Okay, let me have is okay. right? Did I miss anything? Yeah, here I should be having F, right? Okay. Okay, now let's run it again. So bill amount 2100, 2110, like 210, right? So 500 is 0, 100 is 2, right? This is what we got, correct? Now, what I can do here is, instead of printing everything, now you check the value. What if this 500 is greater than 0? Only then you print it. Right? So if it is greater than 0, only then you print it. Now in this case, okay, 210, right? So if I run it, if I give 210, you see 500 is not printed because 500 is equal to 0, right? Number of 500 is 0. So it's not printing. So this is what I wanted you to do. I wanted you to check, okay, 100 more than 0, then only you print. Okay. 50s, sorry. 50 greater than 0, only then you print. Okay. 20s greater than 0, only then you print. 10 greater than 0, only then you print. 5 greater than 0, only then you print. If 2 greater than 0, only then you print. Okay. If 1 greater than 0, only then you print 1. The same program when I run, if I put 210, so you see, it says to print only 100, no 2 and once 1. Okay, it is not talking about 500, 1 rupee, 2 rupees, things like that. So because of this condition, what happens? This is situation where you will use condition like this. Okay, you don't have to worry if the value is not 0. Right? Now, when you run it, so I can say 2155. So what do you get? It says 500 note. Right? Five hundred note 4. 100 is 1. Right? So whatever is 0, we are not printing it. Right? Whatever is 0, we are not printing that at all. Right? This is the application of your if condition, only if condition. Right? Good so far? Yes. Okay. Now we will see some examples of your if-else. So this example, it's enough to do this with if only. No, else is not required. Right? So that means if condition is met, it will be, it will go and print the value which is inside. If condition is not met, it will not print the value inside, isn't it? Okay. Pass or fail. Okay. So other day we did one more example, correct? We took the program to calculate average of 5 subject, right? Okay, I'll go to different page. And what is the last one? Okay, this is what I need. So I'll delete this. Okay, these are the ones that we need. Okay. Now, when you come here, when you run this program, okay, marks 45, 55, 66, 41, 32. Okay. So what you get? It says marks obtained is 47.8. Now, let's say based on your university role, okay, we need to check, okay, if the student has passed or failed. So condition is if average is greater than 50, then let's say pass. Otherwise, fail. Okay. So if average is more than 50, you have passed. Otherwise, it is failed. Correct? So now we are calculating all these things. This is great. Now the average value you have to check, isn't it? So what if average value is greater than equal to 50 means equal to also you have to say equal to, then you say print student has passed, right? Else you will say print student has failed. Okay, student has passed, student has failed. Now when you run it, okay, second say 90, then 23, 31, 20, 11. So average is what? 35. So what happened? Student has failed. Now let's say you run it and you give like 50, 50, 50, 50, and here you get 49. The average is 49.8. Student has failed, right? Now you give like 49, 49, 49, 49, and here you give 59. It has passed. Okay. So this is how, we can run this program with if and else. Okay. So if you have only one condition to check, like the previous example that we did, you have only one condition to check, then we go with only if, correct. If you have two conditions to check, like one we have here, student has passed or failed. Okay. So when you are working, right, you should keep this in your mind. Okay. Keep this in your mind. Okay. Condition means, so, okay, each of this program, just remember one example. Okay. Where should you use that if 500 greater than kind of example, or where should you use if else example? Okay. Now we are going to learn something new, okay, which is called ELIF. What is ELIF? Now, when you have only one condition to check, then you say if. When you have two conditions to check, then you go with if and else. Yes. And when you have three conditions to check, okay, what is three condition? Like positive, negative, and neutral. Okay. So what I said, if value is more than 0, we said positive, right? And if value is not more than 0, else we said not positive, because not positive will include both negative and 0. Now I need to understand, right? Now I need to understand how to handle this third condition, right? What is third condition? 0. I need to handle positive separately, 0 separately, and negative separately. Okay. So Let me move this here to save it. And now we'll do the same program. Check if a number is positive or negative. Check if a number is positive or negative or neither. So 0 is neither positive nor negative. So how many conditions we have here? 3 conditions we got. Okay. So listen, okay, watch this carefully. Okay. I need to understand. Okay, let's say I take num equal to int of input. I'm taking from the user. Okay. Enter the number. Okay. Enter the number. Now, if this number that you have entered, okay, if this number that you have entered, which is num, right? So if num is greater than 0, then you say print it's positive, correct? Now, second condition. Okay. So second condition is what? Else. But here we have 3 conditions, right? So else is always your last condition. If is always your first condition. If is always your first condition, and else is always your last condition. What we have is something in between, is called ELIF. ELIF stands for else if. If the first condition is not true, then this. So if you have only one condition, you do if. If you have 2 conditions, you do if else. If you have more than 2 conditions, then more than 2 conditions means whether 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. In between, you will have that many number of ELIF. If I have to have 5 conditions, then I will have 3 ELIFs. If, then 3 will be ELIF, and last will be else, right? So if 3 ELIFs, and so let's see one example here. ELIF is always followed by the condition. If is always followed. So if has a condition, ELIF will also have a condition. Here I will check num less than 0. Print it's negative. Okay. So print it's positive, print it's negative. Now when I say negative, okay, I'm talking about when num is less than 0. Look at the condition. I'm talking about this condition. This is one condition. For this you have this. This is another condition. For you have this. Okay. So, okay. And finally, you will say else. Okay. Else. So what happens when you have multiple conditions? Okay. The program will execute sequentially, right? So this is the first line to be called. And if this is true, it will go inside this. Okay. It will print positive. And then it will come out of the entire if block. Okay. So this is how you look at. Let's say you know that your friend is in apartment. So this apartment, let's say this is apartment and you have 3 houses. Okay. You have 3 houses. If, ELIF, and else. And you know that your friend lives in this apartment, but you don't know which one, which floor your friend is living. Then what will you do? You will go and knock on the first door, correct? And your friend is there. Then you will meet your friend, do your work, and then you will go back. Will you go and check other 2 doors? No, you will not check. You will only check this, check and go out. Now, if it says that no, your friend is not here, then what will you do? That means this condition became false. Okay, num is not greater than 0. Your friend is not here. Then what do? You go to second house. Then you will check. Right? So it says, yes, your friend is here. Then you will do the negative thing and then go out. Now, if this does not have your friend, this does not have your friend, then third house, you will not even ask. That's why I say there's no condition. You don't ask. You'll straight away go inside. Because you know your friend lives in this apartment. First two houses doesn't have your friend. So definitely third will have. So if this is false and this is false, then only it will go inside this. If this is true, you'll go here and you come out. You will not even check these two conditions. If this condition you are checking and it is false, then you will check this condition. Okay. And then if it is true, you will go inside and then you'll come out. You will not go to third house. Remember this. This is very important to understand how if, elif, and else work. Okay. Okay. So this is how you will have three conditions. Okay. Now what I'll do is we will take the previous example itself, the student example. Now I'm not okay with just pass and fail. Here you have only pass and fail, right? Now what I want is I want to give grading also. Okay, so we just did pass and fail. We will do grading also. Grading of the student. Okay, so how do you do grading? So I will check if average. Okay, now first let's write the condition for grading and then we will try to implement it. So if average is greater than 90%, okay, if average is greater, then we will say grade A. If AVG is greater than 80 and less than 90, okay, we'll say grade B. AVG greater than 70, we want to say grade C. If AVG greater than 60, we'll say grade D. AVG greater than 50, we'll say grade E. And AVG less than 50, right? Okay, then we say grade F, let's say. And this is all equal to, let's say. These are all equal to. I mean, greater than equal to 90, greater than equal to 80, greater than equal to 70, greater than equal to 60. This is the rule. So you have been asked to develop a program where you will take the input, okay? You will take the input and then you will calculate based on the given condition. You'll calculate based on the given condition and then you will print the grade, right? Whether it is low or high. Right? Correct? Then tell me how will you approach? How many conditions we need? Hmm? Tell me something, no? No idea? 5 conditions. So see, we have to start with if here first.
One is 90 if condition and remaining 3 becomes if for
So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 elifs.
4 elif.
1 if. So 4 plus 1, 5, and your else here.
Yeah.
If nothing works, then grade F. Okay. So you have 1 if, 4 elifs, and 1 else. Right? So let's build this. I'm going to copy this and put it here. So here you have to say if, right? Here it's going to be elif, right? You'll have elif, 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 and then else. Else will not have any condition. You don't have to give, because if it is not more than 50, obviously it is less than 50. Right? So you will close the bracket here. Right? 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 Now you enter. You enter. 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 That's it. Okay. So now if I have to enter, let's say 56, 49. Okay. 59, 39, 45. Average is what? 49.5. 49.5 is grade F. See, fail is coming from previous if-else. Okay. 49.5 will give you grade F. Let's run one more time. And this time, let's give some fixed value. 51, 60, 70, 80, 90. So average is 70. 70 or greater than 70 is what? Grade C. So you get grade C. Right? So this is how you will use multiple if condition. You will use multiple if condition. All right? Okay. So now I'll give you one program to do it. Okay? And let me see how you do it. So program is input a number and check if the number is odd or even. So you need to input a number and check if number is odd or even. Right? So let me see how you do it. What did I say? Input a number, right? So you need to input a number, right? So I'll say int of input. Correct? Then enter the number. Now I need to check if number is even or odd, right? How do you check if number is odd or even? So your num, if you divide by 2, okay, so number modulo 2. That means if you divide by 2 and the remainder is 0, so checking if number divided by 2, the modulo will give you remainder, isn't it? Okay. So you're saying if remainder is 0, then it is even. Even number. Right? Now, before that, what we'll check is number has to be greater than 0 to do all these things. Okay, so I can say if num is less than 0, that means negative numbers, print invalid number. So I'm checking if it is less than 0, that means -1, -2, whatever, then it should not do it. Elif, if it is not less than, then num equal to 0, even, and you say else. print odd number. Right? Okay, so this is way of doing if, elif, else. Okay, I'll give you more examples from the book. You practice. Now we'll move to new topic, which is called as nested if. What is nested if? Let's take same example for a second. Okay. Now you see what I have done. I have checked if num is less than 0, right? If num is less than 0, invalid number. Otherwise, you perform this. You can have condition inside condition. Condition inside condition is called nested if. Condition inside condition is nested if. That means if this is your if, elif, else, if you have a condition inside this, then okay. So now, for example, here num less than 0. Instead of saying num less than 0, I will say the num greater than 0. Okay. When I say num greater than 0, that means I'm performing this only if number is positive. And then, okay, instead of printing valid or invalid, now I will say if. And I will push this inside. I'll say else, I'll push this inside. So what happened, you see? It is checking, is num greater than 0? That means the number that you enter, if it is positive, that's when this condition becomes true and you will go inside. If this becomes false, then you are not going inside. Right? So if num greater than 0, then you will go inside. Inside again, you are checking. So it's like I told you about apartment. You are checking for your friend. Now there are 2 apartments. There's one main and then there is one more. So think of it as apartment and then bedrooms. So you need to find your purse, right? So you're checking, is this your apartment? Yes, it is my apartment. Then you go inside. Now you have 2 different rooms. Where did you keep your purse? Did you keep here or here? So you'll go to first room, check. Did you find your purse? No. Then by default, it will be in second room. Did you find your purse? Yes. Then you will say evil and done. Right? So this is how your yes, nested conditions. Nested condition. This is called example of nested condition. Condition inside a condition. Condition inside a condition. Okay. This is your nesting example. Now we'll take another nesting example. Here you see this example, right? Okay. Okay, we forgot to copy the input part. This is your input part. Okay, so this is your input part. You are inputting, then you are calculating average. Now I'm checking if more than 50 pass, else we are saying fail. Okay, and then you are doing the grading, isn't it? Can we do grading also along with this? Okay, and also assign grades, right? So what I will do here in else, now you see this else is less than 50 and this else is also less than 50. They are matching, they are same. So you can directly copy and paste, isn't it? You can directly copy and paste. Now all these okay, is when it is more than 50. So I'll copy and paste this inside this. So what happens if it is more than 50 only, you will check it is more than 90, 80, 70, 60, 50. And since this is more than 50, here you don't have to check for entire condition again. You can directly say else. See, you are inside here only if value is more than 50. If value is more than 50, then you don't have to check for condition here. Directly else means it is, if this is not more than 60, obviously it is less than 60 and also more than 50, because more than 50 only you will enter inside this condition. Right? So this is your example of nested condition.
Okay. Then here we are removing only have two conditions only.
Main, you have two conditions. And inside this first condition, again, you have multiple conditions. Right? Now you can have one more condition inside this. Now, this is when your average grade is okay. So if you have if greater than 90, okay, you can have one more condition. Now see here, you are greater than 50 only, you'll go inside. If it is more than 90 only, you're going inside. Here I can check if average greater than 95, okay, you say print, you win president's medal or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? Again, you can have one more condition inside this. So this will be executed when average is more than 95. I can say if AVG greater than 98, let's say.
Okay.
I can check print, you win state governor's award or something like that.
Okay.
So you have this if inside this if inside this if inside this. Okay, so you can have any level of nesting. Now, if this condition is false, this will not be reached, correct? If this condition is false, this will not be, you are not getting inside this door. If you're not getting inside this door, then all these doors you will not have access to. Think in this way. This is main door. If you enter inside, only you will check this door. If you enter inside, only then you will check this door. If you enter inside only, you will check this door. If you enter inside only, you'll have access to this. Right? So now when I run it, and let's say I give like 100, 99, 100, 98, 100. So your average is 99.4. So see, student has passed because it is more than 50. You got grade A because you got 90, more than 90. You got president's medal because your average is more than 95. And you got state governor's award because your average is more than 98. Right? So you're checking a condition, step against step, another step, another step, another step, right? So it becomes nesting. You're like, this is how you write nested condition. With that, we complete conditions. Okay. Okay. Now we'll move on to new topic, which is called loops. Okay. What is loop? Loop is, see, conditions we saw where you are running a particular block of code based on condition. Like for example, you have passed. We are executing, we have passed if the condition is something like that, right? Here, we are repeating same block of code multiple times. We are repeating same block of code multiple times, okay, in loops. So let's say I want to, okay, simple example is, in this example that we did earlier, subject 1, subject 5, right? We are repeating input 5 times, isn't it? Right? So instead of repeating 5 times, can we write one line and use that in a loop so that it takes 5 values? Okay. So can we repeat it? Okay. So you don't have to write 5 times. Now, if I tell you read 100 marks, so you'll have to write 100 times, input, 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 right? So can we do it in one line and then repeat that? So for example, so I tell you like print hello 10 times. Now, if I tell you to print hello 10 times,
Yeah,
print 5, print hello, right? So instead of doing it 10 times, print hello 10 times, do we have a mechanism to repeat it using some technique so that we don't have to do it, yeah, again and again? Yes. Okay. Is that good? Okay. So there are two ways to do these loops. Loop is repetition, basically. Okay. As I said, it is repetition. Now, there are two ways to repeat this loop. One is called for loop. This is used when we know how many times to run, to execute or repeat. How many times to repeat would be better word. Okay, we know how many times to repeat. Then you have while loop when we don't know how many times. Okay, we don't know how many times. Okay, but we know condition. Okay, used when we know when to repeat and when not to repeat. Okay, so give you an example here. Now, if I ask you to go from here till water can. Now, so I have two ways, right? I'll tell you, okay, go in this direction for 20 steps. If I know that the water can is exactly 20 steps from here, if I know the water can is exactly 20 steps from here, then I will say, go 20 steps in this direction and you'll find a water can. Second step is, I'll tell you, keep, because here I know exactly this 20 steps. So I'll tell you, move in 20 steps. This is using for loop. If you know that I have to repeat hello 10 times, you know exactly how many times to repeat hello, right? So if you know exactly how many times to repeat, you will use for loop. Second case is when you don't know how many times to repeat. So example is water can itself, I don't know how many steps. So I'll tell you, oh, keep going in this direction. On the left side, you will see a can. So keep going in this direction. So going. Will you are going forever? No. There's a stopping condition. Till you see a can on the left. Okay. If the can is on the right, you will be looking left and you will cross and you will go. So there giving condition is important. Right condition has to be given. Otherwise, you'll keep going. So this is two ways of repeating. So instead of saying, okay, just one step, you're taking multiple steps. You are repeating yourself. Okay. So first case, you are stopping after 20 steps. Okay. So here I'm saying repeat 10 times. So I'll be using for loop. And second is when I'm telling you how many times or when to stop. That's where you have while loop. Okay. So these are two different loops that we need to learn. And once you learn conditions and loops, you can do most of the programs. Okay. So let's see an example of each. But again, when we get into for loop, we have to learn about something called as range. Okay. So let's see what range is. So range is used in multiple places and multiple things can also be used with for. So for today, we will see how range function works with if. So range is a function. What is a function? It has a predefined meaning. Print has a predefined meaning. Input we have seen, int we have seen, str we have seen. So these are predefined functions. Range is also predefined functions. Okay, so what is the purpose of range? The purpose of range is to generate range of values. Okay, so how does it generate? Now, if you have to generate range of values, I have to tell it to generate, right? I have to tell it how to generate. So if I say range and tell you 5, 10, 2. So your range can have values like start, end, and we say step. So if I say start equal to 5, that's what it means. Okay, end equal to 10 and step equal to 2. That's what it means. Okay, so what kind of value to generate? See, it will start with start. So start is 5. What will be the next value? Depends upon the step. So next value will be 7 because step is 2. So 5 plus 2, 7. 7 plus 2, 9. 9 plus 2, 11. Yes, but we can't because stop is 10. So you have to stop till, okay. So you continue until, okay. So now you remember, let's say if I make it 11, then what will happen?
11.
But 11 will not come. Why? Because end is always less than. Okay, less than and not equal to. So in this case, I have said end equal to 11. Still, you will generate only up to 9. Up to 9. 3 values up to 9 because 9, next number is 11. 11 is not less than 11. Okay, so start is equal to, step is also equal to, but end is less than. Always end is less than in Python. Okay, so if you say here, okay, start equal to 5, end equal to 11, and step equal to 2, okay, it means you start from 5, next number will be 7, then 9, so on, okay, but you will stop just before, not at the rate, just before end. So end is 11, you can only go up to 9. Okay, you can't go beyond this. Make sense? Okay. Now your range, okay, sometimes can have only 2 values. It need not, see, if range has 3 values, it means it has start, end, and stop. If your end has only 2 values, okay, when range has only 2 values, it means, okay, it means it has start and end, no step. When you have 2 values, it means it is start and end, not end and step. Start and end. Here, your step is default 1. So if I say range of 5, 11, then what are the values it will generate?
5, 6, 7,
5,
6,
7, 8,
9.
9, 10. That's it. No 11.
It is totally default by 1, 1, 1.
Yes. Default increment is
1.
1. Okay. Your range can have one value only. If it is one value, then it is end. That means your step default is 1 and your start default is 0. So if I say range of 5, what it will generate? Tell me. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So range of 5 will give you 0, 1, 2, 3, 4.
It is only one value of any range.
Yes. So it is end less than. Default start is 0 and default increment is 1. So if you have three values in range, it means it is start, end, and step. Step, not stop. Yeah. Start, stop, and step. If it is two values, it is
End and start. Start and end.
start and end. If it is only one value,
Only end.
it is only end. Okay. Default start is 0, default step is 1. If step is not given, it is 1. Start is not given, it is 0. Right? Okay. So now if I say for, okay, now this is how for is written. So now I'll show you example of for and range together. So for loop is written like for I in range. Okay, let's take the same example. You have 5, 11, and 2. 5, 11, and 2. Okay. So see this statement. For is because we are using for loop. Okay. Range will generate 5, 7, 9. Three values. Okay. I in. I is a variable. You can write anything. You can write K, J, counter, step, 1, find, whatever. It's a variable. You can use any variable. So for any variable in range, for any variable in range. Now in is an operator, just like we did plus, minus, into, or less than, greater than. Your in is also operator. So in is saying that I should take value from range, right side. Left side variable should take value from right side. So I in range means I will take 5, 7, and 9. Okay, I should take 5, 7, and 9. Okay, I should take 5, 7, and 9. And for will make sure that at a time you're only taking one value.
Okay.
Okay, so this is your for loop simple example where you have for a variable in range 5, 11, 2. And now let me print I. So I is going to be 5, 7, and 9. Now when you run this program, okay, you see 5, 7, and 9. Okay, you get 5, 7, and 9 because your I is taking value 5, then 7, and then 9. Range is generating those values. In is making sure I takes, right? Making sure that I takes, and then for will make sure that it takes value 1 at a time. Okay, so this is how you will generate different values. Make sense?
How can we write hello 10 times every time?
Yes, that's the next question. Now, if I instead of writing I, if I write something else, then what will happen?
We need to print the same variable.
Now, let's say here I will say comma hello. So hello is printed 3 times, isn't it? I value is 579, but if you give a fixed value is printed. Now, second example where you had range 5 and 11, right? Okay, here is right. We use 5, 11, right? No 2. Remove 2. Now you see 5 here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It will generate from 5 to 10. Right? Third example, what I said?
Only end.
Only end. I remove 11. So it will generate 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is how you repeat something 5 times. You say hello and put it here. It will print
It is
hello.
only for end.
Yes, only give. This is also you can use it. See,
Ah,
you don't have to give only, here. So here you see 5, 6, 7, 8. This is for 6 times, correct? If you want 5 times, you make it 10. If you make it 10, okay, hello 2, if I say, for example. So 5 to 10, okay. So what do you get here? No, I think I shouldn't have changed here. I should have changed. This is your hello 1, and let's say this is your hello 2. This is where you make 10, let's say. Right? So now what happened?
Okay, we are getting in total range for and hello ones only.
Right? So yes, so hello 2 is also printed here 5 times. So if you want to print something 5 times, you can do this way, or you can do this way. Obviously, this is better. Sorry, second is better because you are using one less statement. Okay, and you know that if I say 5, 0 to 4 is 5, right? So this is what we prefer. But I'm saying you can do this way also. All right. So yes, we'll stop here now. Okay.